What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my channel, where today we have the first episode of Madden 24 franchise for you. Now, in this franchise, I decided to try and pick a team to rebuild that wouldn't be too crazy. I thought about choosing a young team like the Falcons or the Panthers or the Texans, but ultimately I decided to go with the New Orleans Saints. The reason being, they have an all-right offense and an all-right defense. I think that they can take the next step to being great, and the fans of New Orleans are very passionate. As you see, we have our quarterback Derek Carr, we've got Kamara. Our offensive line leaves a lot to be desired other than Ramchick. We have Michael Thomas, Chris Olave, obviously. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm going to trade Michael Thomas. That's not even a question. I'm going to put him up on the trade block and see what we can get. But as for our defense, not too great. Our defensive line is pretty bad, except for Cameron Jordan. Demario Davis is the only linebacker that's worth anything right now. But we've got Tyrann Mathieu and Lattimore, among others. But like I said, we're going to end up trading Michael Thomas. We're going to see what we can get for him and see if it is worth value. But first, we've got our training camp. Now, these are the different types of mini games that you see a lot of different people playing right now to boost their people's overall, get them some skill points, and improve. So we're going to take that first target passing, and we're going to use Jake Haener because I want to make Haener our number 2 instead of Jameis Winston. I think he could develop into something great. As you see here, we knock both targets out. Couple times later, we're trying to get more than one and actually complete it, but it's really difficult, to be honest. Like, it's a lot more difficult than you'd actually think it is. I thought that this could have gotten 2, but it ended up going a little too high. But he ended up getting a skill point, and that's all that matters. Now, the next one, Derek Carr, is up next, and on the first play, we make a big, stupid mistake.
Are you stupid or something?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I just kind of zoned out. But a couple plays later, we end up finding Smith in the back of the end zone, scoring that touchdown, and we get a bronze medal. Not great. And the next one is the rushing attack, and it's honestly pretty easy. There's so many blocks. Kamara is just going to run in absolutely everything for a touchdown, as you see here, just back to back to back. So I'm not going to show you guys much. I'm just going to show you probably the last play, and then we're going to move on. As you see, we got 54,000 points. Gonna get gold. We got a skill point. That's what matters. For wide receiver battle, I decided to go with Traquan Smith instead of some of these other receivers, specifically Michael Thomas, because I want him to improve and get that skill point. And obviously, we're trading Michael Thomas, so it's not going to be any point in doing it. So as you see here, we're working through our routes. We're trying to see what happens in this mini game and how we can score points. You see, we made that first mistake there, but we're starting to figure it out a little bit. Get the catch and 200 points there, going over the middle, just trying to get some easy plays before we start going for something a lot bigger. And you see here, we make that catch, don't get in the 200 point spot, but we do get silver, and he does get a skill point for improvement. Now, the next one, we choose Olave because obviously Olave is going to be our number 1 receiver, so he's going to need to get as many skill points as possible. As you see him go over the middle, and now able to catch this with perfect coverage. Just pretty phenomenal performance in this one by Olave, scoring 400 there, and he gets a silver. Doesn't get a skill point, but next we're going to take the rookie in the trench battle to improve him because he has hidden development, and these help unlock some of the snap counters. So we're going to improve. We're going to try and go through one defender. We immediately go through another defender. We are struggling to get through this third defender, but we managed to make it around him before stumbling into some stupid pylons, just run past the fourth one. And in this one, our defender is actually just blocking the crap out of us right out of the area. But on the second one, we're able to rip right through one. We're able to just barely get around the second one, rip through the third one, go right past the fourth one, and get to the quarterback to get some points finally. But in our last rep, we're starting to really figure it out. Ripping is actually much harder, much more difficult than you would expect. I feel like I'm doing the ripping perfectly on time, but it's not working every time, and we keep having to go around a really weird way. As you see here, we're pushing, we're bowling, trying to go around. All of the defenders catch up, but we managed to get silver, and he gets a skill point. So at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Chase and tackle was super, super difficult for me. I chose Werner as a linebacker to try and improve. We go and we're marking Kamara. We let him get some yards, but we're able to make the tackle. It doesn't end up like that the entire time. I get obliterated in chase and pursuit, and from then it was just really bad for me. I also get blown by on so many of these plays. He just breaks tackle after tackle after tackle, and I had no chance. It was honestly a very poor performance. I barely scored any points, didn't even get a medal, so it was really, really weak. Now for the corners, I actually decided to do Paulson Adebo, who has star development, and improve him, trying to get some experience points, get him to a higher rating. But again, very, very difficult. At least it shows you your routes, as you see here. We end up getting an interception, and that allows us to get some points, and he gets a skill point. But the DB battle in the red zone was so difficult. I used Lattimore, and it was just... I couldn't see the route. I had no idea where he was going. I got beat on pretty much every coverage. It was actually pitiful how difficult it was because I couldn't mark what he was doing. So you see here, I'm just going to end up on negative points. I can't hold him in press. I can't guard him. I have no idea where he's going. So I'm trying to stay with him, and it's just, I'm getting beat over the top every time.
Yikes.
Next up, we've got the kicking drill. Now, I'm pretty good at making field goals, so this wasn't really a struggle. You see here, I make it right down the middle. Didn't struggle at all for the remainder of the little training camp thing. And this one, I just barely made with enough power, but, you know, next we got the coffin corner. This one was, like, my favorite game mode growing up. I loved doing the coffin corner kicks. I always thought that they were so entertaining to do. So this is like a little piece of nostalgia for me. As you see there, we get it within the 5-yard line, and on the last one, we end up getting pretty much a perfect punt here. Bounces and it goes out just about the 1. But next, we have the first preseason game where we're going to play the moments here. And it looks like on 1st and 10, going to try and establish something early. We're going to try and establish the run. Going to see what we can do with Kamara. And we're going to go, we got a couple blockers, and he's going to go and get about 4 yards. 2nd and 6 now. Let's see what Derek Carr can do. We're going to be looking over the middle. We're going to send Tre'Quan Smith on a vertical route, and we were going to try and get it there to square, I think, as he was coming across the middle, but Chris Jones got to us. Now, Derek Carr, I'm looking over for my tight end over the middle, and I completely miss him. That's ridiculous. I can't believe that happened. But now Mahomes has the ball. We're going to user our middle linebacker. We're going to see what we can do here. I'm covering the middle. The middle is nothing. And he finds Kelsey over the top of me. In the middle. No problem. What are you going to do about that, you know? Now we got a 3rd and 1. Late in the first quarter. We're going to run this. We're going to see if we can get this first down with Kamara. Hand it off, get it to Kamara, and he just barely gets there, gets that first down. Now, 3rd and 10 later in this drive from the 22. Winston is in the game now. End of first quarter, which means Derek Carr got taken out. Winston is now in the game. We're going to look probably out for Foster Moreau. We're going, and he's able to get it to him. Foster Moreau, what a catch. Now, 1st and goal, Jamal Williams. We're going to see if we can get it up there, and he gets bombarded at the 1. Wow. Now, 2nd and goal, we're going to run it again, and we're going to get it. I believe this is Kendre Miller. Yeah, Kendre Miller with the touchdown, getting us on the board to tie the Chiefs. Now, 3rd and 7. We got to see if we can hold... who is this? Like Blaine Gabbert? Is he the backup for Mahomes? We're going to see if we can block. Wow, he almost gets that off. But the receiver drops it more. Sky Moore drops it. Saving us for now. Now we're within the 20-yard line. We're going to end up looking. I want to see if I can find my receivers here at some point. We're going to, obviously we want to establish the run, but I need to see how our receivers are going to do because of the Michael Thomas trade. I need to know what I've got in my receivers as I get just about sacked there. All right. Now, we're going to be looking for Washington over the middle. He stopped. I thought I was going to throw a pick there, honestly. I really did. But he ends up catching it, getting us to that first and goal. Now, Winston going, and he ends up fumbling. Why are we fumbling the ball, Winston? Come on, man. You can't be fumbling in those situations. There's a reason why you aren't the starting quarterback. Now 3rd and 2 in the 35-yard line. We're within scoring range, at least, as we hand it to Jamal Williams, who just gets stopped, actually loses a yard. And we're going to end up going for it because it's preseason and the record doesn't really matter. We're going to go for it, and we're going to throw it on the run to Edwards. I think that's Braylon Edwards. Nice catch by Edwards. Next play, we're going to try and go in that same corner with Foster Moreau because we're stupid. Now, let's see. We're going to go again. We're going to see if we can get him on the out route. Foster Moreau is going to be... Our tight ends are going to be a pretty big target. Jimmy Graham, Foster Moreau, they're going to be pretty big targets, I reckon. But we're just throwing really bad throws right now. We're trying to see what types of plays our team can make here as we decide to throw it over the middle. We had him open, and we are unable to complete it. That's absolutely insane. I don't think there was enough pressure for that. But we've got Abram now over the middle. He's going. He throws it out to, who is 25? Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Now, 2nd and goal, Blaine Gabbert. Let's see. Edwards-Helaire, our linebacker, Howden, he didn't even move. He didn't even move to respond to the run. But we end up scoring. The computer ends up scoring. And look at that. He absolutely breaks me. I try and tackle him down. Can't get it done. Don't know what to say. Still got Abram over the middle. They got 2 receivers there to choose from and a blocker. From a block from Watson. Now, gonna try and see if I can stop this run. I go through all of the defenders. I get that tackle. He's down. No gain. 2-minute warning. Coming back. Trying to look and see if I got anybody. He ends up dishing it off to Edwards-Helaire again, who gets stopped for 5 yards. And I get caught sleeping here. I get caught sleeping right there. Thankfully, don't give up a touchdown, but we do give up a touchdown right here to Noah Gray, who just completely demolishes us. At this point, I decide to put in Jake Haener because for some reason they don't want to put in third strings. So I want to put in Jake Haener and see what I can do here. And it's pretty difficult. We find we find Williams, who drops the ball after getting smacked, and we end up taking another sack, which means that they get the ball. So now we've got to play some defense. They decide to do a screen. Screens are pretty effective. He ends up getting about 8. And I imagine that they're just going to do a bunch of little dish passes like that, where I knew exactly where they were going to go, but I can't really do anything about it as Edwards-Helaire gets stopped right there. They still have 1 timeout, 12 seconds left. They're taking a while, and Edwards-Helaire ends up getting a couple yards, 5 yards, so they're going to go and kick it. Now we're on the line, and look what happens here. Bang! End up blocking that ball, and we end up getting one last play, see if Haener can make it down there, just throwing it up, and he ends up dropping it, but we end up tying the game. We got a bunch of upgrades to do in the next episode. So we're going to take that along with the trade offers for Michael Thomas. Look at a couple of these. We're going to talk about which one we should do in the next episode. Until then, make sure you guys smash that like button. Like, if you're new here, subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next episode. Peace.